He took my girl, my job, and almost my name. Growing up in a small Pennsylvania town, there's a certain kind of friendship that feels thicker than blood. That was me and Kyle. From kindergarten to college, from scraped knees to heartbreaks, we were inseparable. Everyone said we were like brothers. Honestly, I thought we were closer. Until he took everything from me. I met Kyle when we were 5. He moved in next door with his mom after his parents divorced. We bonded over G.I. Joes, backyard football, and late-night movies when his mom worked the night shift. I had a big family, noisy and chaotic. He had no siblings and a mom who barely looked up from her wine glass. So he found refuge at our place. My parents loved him. My mom always made an extra plate for dinner. My dad taught him how to throw a baseball. By the time we hit our senior year, we had matching tattoos. One blood. He picked it out. We got them drunk on a dare. Looking back, maybe that was the moment I should have realized he liked becoming part of my life a little too much. After college, I moved to Philly and landed a junior marketing job at startup. Kyle showed up a month later, couch surfing while figuring things out. I didn't mind. It was temporary, right? I had a girlfriend, a tiny one-bedroom apartment, and big dreams. Kyle had none of that, and somehow that became my problem. My girlfriend, Clara, was everything I wasn't: vibrant, ambitious, fearless. We met at a networking event, hit it off instantly. She found Kyle charming, in that sloppy, effortless way. I wasn't worried. She'd seen my ugly, my broke, my dreams and doubts. Kyle was just my shadow. But shadows get longer when the sun starts to set. He started borrowing my clothes. First hoodies, then jackets, shoes. My cologne. You've got good taste, man. Then he began tagging along to events I was invited to. At first, it was fine. He was funny. He made people laugh. But then people started talking to him more, remembering him. One day, my manager asked if Kyle was looking for a job. My manager. Clara said I was being paranoid. You're just stressed. He's harmless. Then came the night I had to work late. Clara and Kyle were home. I walked in on them watching a movie, sitting a little too close. Maybe it was nothing, but I saw it, the way she looked at him, like she used to look at me, and the way he looked back. I should have said something then, but I didn't. I told myself it was in my head. The final blow came quietly. I'd been working toward a promotion for 6 months. It was down to me and one other guy. I gave everything to that job. Clara was patient about the late nights. Kyle joked about how I'd sell my soul for a raise. I laughed. He didn't. One morning, I got a call from HR. The position had been filled. Internally. By someone they just brought in. Someone with great references. It was Kyle. He never told me he applied. Never told me he met with my boss. He used my resume literally. The same format, same phrasing. Said it was just for fun at RST, to see if he could pull it off. But then he got the offer. I confronted him. He just shrugged. I didn't think you'd care, man. You were so burned out. Figure maybe I could help us both out. Help us. Clara didn't say a word. Just packed a bag and left a week later. No note. No explanation. I found out from a mutual friend they were together. Officially. She even moved into his place, my old apartment. The one I had to vacate after losing the promotion, the one I couldn't afford without the raise. I moved back home. My parents were confused. I couldn't explain it. How do you explain that your best friend became your doppelganger and then replaced you? Months passed. I started over. New city, new job, no Kyle. But I couldn't stop thinking about him. About how someone can wear your skin and smile like you never existed. Then, last week, I got a call. Unknown number. I picked up. Hey. It's me. Kyle. My stomach dropped. Listen, I messed up. Clara left. She said I wasn't you. That I never was. I think I lost myself. I didn't answer. He kept talking. Sometimes I wake up and feel like I'm still living your life. Like I don't even know who I am anymore. You were always the good one. I just wanted to be like you. I just didn't know how to stop. I hung up. I sat there in silence for a long time. Then I opened a new document on my laptop. Typed out everything you just heard. Maybe because I needed to make sense of it. Maybe because writing it down is the only way to reclaim my voice. But that's not where it ended. 2 weeks after I published this story anonymously online, I received an email from someone named Emily. The subject line just read, "I know him too." At first, I thought it was a prank. But then I opened it. She wrote about how Kyle had done something similar to her brother, taken over his friend group, his apartment, even dated his ex different city. Same story. She'd stumbled across my post by accident. Or fate. We started talking. Shared stories. Connected dots. Kyle had a pattern. He didn't just betray me. I wasn't special. That almost hurt more, knowing I was just another skin he tried on. Emily and I met in person a few weeks later. She brought pictures. One of them stopped me cold. It was from a party 2 years ago, and in the background, barely visible, was Kyle. Talking to Clara. That was before I'd introduced them. He'd known her. Before me. Suddenly, everything tilted. What if this wasn't spontaneous? What if Kyle had been weaving his way into my world for longer than I realized? I confronted my memories. Replayed conversations. Noticed the way Kyle always seemed to show up when I needed support. The way he mirrored my interests, my language, even my handwriting. It wasn't admiration. It was assimilation. And I had let him. But that ends now. This story, our story, it's mine again. And if you've ever had your identity stolen by someone who claimed to love you, I want you to know, you're not crazy. You're not alone. You're not theirs. Story 2, he wasn't who I thought he was, and it cost me everything. They say everyone has a secret. I used to think that was just something people said to sound deep. Now I know better. I was 23 when I moved to the outskirts of Seattle with my best friend, Noah. We'd been close since high school, the kind of friendship built on stupid jokes, video game marathons, and surviving heartbreaks together. We weren't just friends. We were chosen family. Or at least, that's what I thought. We split rent on a 2-bedroom apartment not far from the city line. Nothing fancy, peeling linoleum, a view of a parking lot, and paper-thin walls. But to us, it was freedom. A fresh start. Or so I believed. From the very beginning, there were signs. Things that didn't quite add up. Noah never talked about his family. He had no social media, no photos, no stories. He said his parents were dead. That he'd bounced around foster homes and didn't like to talk about it. I never pushed. We all have trauma, right? But it wasn't just that. He was restless. Always on edge. He'd FL-inch at unknown numbers. He'd freeze when a police car drove past. And sometimes late at night, I'd hear him pacing the kitchen. Just walking in circles, muttering to himself. One night, I woke up to the front door, quietly clicking shut. I looked out the window and saw Noah walking down the street in the rain. No coat, no phone. Just walking into the dark. I wanted to believe it was stress. Maybe a mental health thing. Maybe trauma really had broken him. So I didn't ask. I just tried to be there. Tried to make home feel safe for him. That changed when I found the envelope. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for a charger in the shared drawer when I found it tucked under some tax papers. Thick. Heavy. Inside, a passport, a driver's license, and several credit cards, none of them with the name Noah Kane. Different names. Different photos. Same face. I sat down on the couch, heart pounding. It felt like the floor had dropped out beneath me. Who the hell was this guy? When he came home, I didn't confront him. Not right away. I waited. Watched. I looked up the names. All fake. No records. No social profiles. It was like he didn't exist. One night, I followed him. He took the bus into the city. Got off near a dim bar in the industrial district. I waited outside for an hour. Then 2. When he finally came out, he wasn't alone. A man in a long coat handed him something. They didn't talk. Just nodded. Noah turned and walked away fast, shoving the object deep into his jacket. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything. Every lie. Every weird moment. Every chill I'd brushed off. The next morning, I confronted him. He didn't lie. He just looked at me, eyes hollow, and said, I was never supposed to stay this long. He told me everything. The real everything. 2 years ago, he witnessed a man get murdered behind a nightclub in Los Angeles. The victim was connected to a major gang. Noah gave a statement. Days later, someone tried to run him off the road. So he disappeared. Changed his name. Burned his ID. Started over. He said he trusted me. That he thought maybe this life, the life we built could be his real one. And then he asked me not to tell anyone. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, asking myself if someone's past could kill them. Do you stay loyal? Or do you do the right thing? The next morning, I called the police. They were fast. Faster than I expected. Within hours, Noah was gone. They didn't arrest him, just took him into custody for questioning. But I never saw him again. I tried calling, messaging, nothing. Then, 2 weeks later, I got a letter. It was short, just a few lines. I don't blame you. I knew it might end like this. But I thought maybe, just maybe, you'd be the one person who didn't run. That letter still haunts me. He trusted me with his truth. And I traded it for a clear conscience. I tell myself I did the right thing. That if he'd stayed, he would have ended up dead. But some nights, when I hear footsteps in a hall or see a stranger's face in a crowd, I wonder if I made the right choice, or if I just betrayed the only real friend I ever had. I never found out what happened to him. Maybe he's out there, living under another name. Maybe he's gone, but I still keep that envelope. Not because I want to remember the lie, but because I need to remember the cost of the truth. Story 3, he called me brother. Then slept with my mom growing up in a sleepy Massachusetts town. There's a bond between boys forged through scraped knees, old bikes, and secrets whispered in basements. That bond I thought was unbreakable. Me and Mason, we were that kind of close. Everyone said we were like brothers. He called me that too. Your family man. I believed him. I was 21 when it happened. Still living at home with my mom and my little brother after the divorce. My dad had left a few years ago, and it was like a hole got punched into the middle of our family. I tried to fill it, I guess. Fix things. Hold the pieces together. Mason had always been around. Since Phi FTH grade, when he defended me from a kid twice our size. Since middle school sleepovers and high school heartbreaks. He didn't have much of a family himself. His dad disappeared early on, and his mom bounced in and out of rehab. So my house became his second home. He had a key, ate our food, helped my little brother with homework, hugged my mom like she was his own. I thought it was sweet, that we gave him something he never had. He was the golden boy. Athletic, confident, charismatic. I always felt a step behind, quieter, more observant, like I was watching life happen instead of living it. But with Mason, it was okay. We balanced each other out. Or so I thought. The Phi RST weird thing was subtle. One night, we were gaming in the basement, and I went to grab snacks. When I came back up, I saw him talking to my mom in the kitchen. Too close. Laughing too softly. I didn't think anything of it. Then it kept happening. He'd show up when I wasn't home. Said he came by to hang out with Jamie, my little brother. But Jamie never mentioned it. Mom did, though offhand, like it was nothing. Mason fixed the leaky faucet today. Or, Mason helped me with groceries. He started dressing nicer. Jim's shirts replaced with button-downs. Hair slicked back. Cologne I didn't recognize. Then came the real gut punch. One night, I borrowed his laptop. Mine was fried, and I had a paper due. He hesitated. That should have been the first red flag. But he handed it over. It wasn't locked. I didn't go snooping, not at first. I just saved my file. But when I went to close the browser, a message popped up. Missed you last night. Same time tomorrow. It was from her. My mom. I froze. Clicked. There were dozens of them. Some innocent. Most not. Photos. Inside jokes. Nicknames that made me feel sick. I couldn't breathe. He walked in as I was reading one. Didn't even inch. Just said, I was going to tell you. It just happened. Happened. Like tripping and falling into my childhood. My mom. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to scream. But all I did was leave. Grabbed my keys, got in my car, and drove for hours. I didn't go home that night. Or the next. When I finally came back, the house felt different. Like it wasn't mine anymore. My mom tried to explain. Said it started with a conversation. Said she was lonely. That Mason listened. That it wasn't about me. But everything felt like it was about me. He moved out of his place. Moved in with her. My best friend. My brother. Now, my stepdad? Jamie didn't understand. He kept asking why Mason wasn't coming around anymore. I didn't know what to say. So I stayed quiet. I moved out 2 months later. Found a place across town. Started over. But sometimes late at night, I still think about that kitchen. The way they laughed when I wasn't looking. The way Mason hugged my mom. The things they shared that I never noticed. Last week, Jamie texted me a photo. It was them. Mason, my mom, and Jamie at a diner. Smiling like a family. He asked, "You okay with this yet?" I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't answer. But I sent him a message the next day. You deserve better than secrets. Better than lies disguised as love. One day you'll understand. And I hope, when he does, he chooses to break the cycle. Have you ever trusted someone so much, only to realize they were living a double life behind your back? Let's talk about it. Which story hit you the hardest, and what would you have done?